It's just like Coffee said, y'all. Just like Coffee said. Kewon is cooked. I don't know how these supposed to be Mo3 bloggers don't understand what's going on. It's like they naive to what's going on. I mean, it's right in your face. You saying what the witnesses can't see. They done already put Kewon on the highway. They have his cell phone records. Do you understand that? I hope you understand that before you get on here trying to argue with everybody else and you not knowing. Don't matter if the witness, they're just there to tell what they saw or may have saw. See what I'm saying? That's it. They tracked Kewon's phone. He had his tracking device with him, you dummy. They could see his route. They could see that he's in that car. He stopped. They could see when that car take off again. They could see all of this stuff. These people on here, they weird bloggers. I don't know why these people get the, like, from the attention from the people that they do have. I don't understand it. They got some dumb people. This shit is dumb for real, man, because I promise y'all, these people are so freaking weird and stupid and naive. They saying what some witnesses basically see. Of course, you would duck too. You wouldn't be a witness. You wouldn't be able to see none of that either. But what they can see is that tracking device that they got, which is called a cell phone. That's what they traced them out. That's what they tracked them off of. That's how they even understand what happened. They watching. You didn't know that they have an advantage of that now, that your cell phone is a tracking device that they can actually watch you and see which way you went, what time you did this and what time you took back off and what time you stopped and all of that. It keeps up with everything. In case people don't know, you have these dumb bloggers get on here leading everybody wrong when it's right in their face the whole time. But how can you say Kewon is up 2-0? Kewon is definitely down, not up. He's down, idiot. They placed him on the highway already. He's on that highway. They got his tracking. They got his location. He's there. Do you understand that part? Now the witnesses, why they cross-examine the witnesses, because nobody's not going to see if he had a mask on or not. They're not going to be able to see who it was at all. The only way you could possibly prove something like that is if that dummy took his cell phone with him and had his cell phone with him the whole time. If the dummy had his cell phone with him the whole time, that's going to be the proof right there. Why do you think they give y'all idiot cell phones? To keep up with you. To keep up with what you do. In case something go on, check his cell phone records. See what towers they was pinging off of. Pull the video down from the satellite. Let's get a better footage. Get some highway footage in there. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. These people are not crazy. I don't understand how people could be over there listening to dumb people speak dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? They just saying dumb stuff. Out of here. You cannot tell who up and who down by no trial, man. If anybody down right now, it's Kewon. He's the one on trial. He's one of them that's down right now. You understand? Yeah, he's one of them that's trying to prove his innocence. And I don't care if the dude did get out of the car with the mask. How is he going to prove the tracking device? How can you get past the actual tracking device that Kewon had on him, which was his cell phone? How can you get past that? That's all Coffee Time want to know. I want to hear somebody explain that part of it to me. Since y'all know everything else, y'all able to say Kewon winning in the trial, and man, y'all bloggers do anything for some spotlight, some fame, some super chats, some cash apps. You get on here and lie through your teeth, not knowing what the hell you talking about. Some of y'all positions ain't positioning. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all positionings ain't positioning. For sure. Did I say that right? Some of y'all position ain't positioning. Let me make sure I said that right. Because I want you to understand what I said. For real. Y'all weird. Y'all definitely weird. And that's how y'all losing. That's why y'all down. That's why Coffee was right. Coffee said it from the get-go when all y'all was saying bodega. And let's talk about all these bloggers from the Mo3 sector that was saying it's another car back there. Mahia, you got Mahia up there. You got Queen 88 them up there. You got 713. All he did was lie and spread different stuff. They mentioning Bodega, they mentioning Yella, they mentioning Trap Boy, they mentioning another hitman. I confused all these people, man, because I went with my first mind, which was common sense. I seen Kewon get out that car shooting at him. And I seen them keep running after him. What makes me think that it's another car back there that they running them into? And it's got Sean G, Bodega. They blame 10 different people in the car that ain't never been back there. You see what I'm saying? They can't outblog Coffee, man. They can't outblog Coffee, man. And y'all had most of the facts of the case right before y'all eyes. Y'all right there. You say it's Dallas business. How you let Houston business solve it? How you let Houston business be right when it's Dallas business? Because I definitely was right. So how y'all let that happen? You know what I'm saying, Angie? Hey, we was right over. Pat yourself on the shoulder, y'all. Pat yourself on the shoulder. Yeah, pat yourself on the shoulder. We don't need nobody to applaud for us over here. For real. We know we was right. We called that. We said it was Kewon because he was the gunman. Look how he ran. Energy tell everything. Energy tell everything, man. How I feel to let Coffee Time outblog the whole Mo3 sector. The Small Channel. What happened? I told y'all the small channels is for the win at all time. At all time. I ain't really, well, I can't speak up for other small channels, but Coffee Time, oh man, we've been a grenade waiting to blow every time over here, and they know it. You know what I'm saying? We one of the hardest, smallest channels out here on the YouTube streets, for sure. And we step on everything that get in our way. Anybody come up against Coffee, we stepping on them. That's what I'm known for. We steppers over here. So we was able to follow this trial and keep up with it, man. We was able to see exactly what's going on. And then you get on here and say, Kewon is up 2-0. How is he up? I'm trying to figure out. Maybe you lost about something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you is lost. Maybe you don't understand exactly what you saying that you're here to do. I don't get it, man. They dumb. They dumb over there. Y'all, look, y'all don't need to be the Mo3 sector bloggers no more. Y'all dumb as fuck. Y'all let Coffee Time outdo y'all. Y'all let Coffee Time outthink y'all. Y'all let a Texas sector, Houston sector blogger outdo Dallas business. Hey, y'all make sure, hey, where the trolls at now? Y'all trolls, get on your job, make sure, ask them how y'all let a Houston, Texas sector nigga outdo y'all Dallas bloggers in Dallas business. Yeah, make sure y'all ask them that question. If y'all need coffee, come find me. I ain't hard to find. Coffee stepping on everything. You know what I'm saying? For real. I ain't hard to find. I just want to know. I just want to know if they gonna be able to admit it and say coffee time for the win. You know what I'm saying? Big CT4L. You understand? Just like WAP said, big coffee time for life over here, man. You know, y'all was wrong about a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait till we get more and more into this trial. I can't wait. I know what's going on. I'm not tripping on that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to speak my piece right now because I can do that. I know what we said. We know what we said. And we know we was correct over here. And guess what? All of y'all Mo 3 Sector bloggers was wrong. All of y'all put another car back there. Every last one of y'all. And y'all picked different people who was in the car. They let a Houston blogger go into Dallas business and outdo Dallas business. Let's talk about it. Hey, this should be the talk of YouTube. They ain't gonna want it to be. Trust me, y'all. I promise y'all, they not gonna like that at all. But it's the truth. It won't like, hey, I promise you, y'all won't be lying. Y'all definitely won't be lying. Y'all will be telling the truth, that's for sure. Because they was definitely wrong. All of them was wrong. Who was over there was right? Who was over there that was right? Because the only one I know that got even close to right like coffee time was MHB. He said that was kewon got the car. He never went back and said, oh, it's another car back there. It's bodega. Oh, it's this, that. You notice he left it alone? Because they got to telling too much that wasn't even nothing for some super chats plays and some Cash App plays. That's why they go from this to that frame to this narrative, that narrative. They hitting y'all every time upside y'all head over there. You want to talk about it? Yeah, y'all share this live, man. Share this live. This is the content live right here. They don't want to hear it. Yeah, they don't want to hear that stuff. Not at all. They don't want to hear Coffee get to talking. Coffee, look, I promise you, I'm going to piss him off the more and more I talk. No lie. I know this for a fact. All you got to do is, if you want to piss somebody off, you tell the truth. You step on them with the truth. You keep stepping on them and stepping on them and stepping on them. I bet you they leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? In this case right here, we was correct so far. You know, I'm waiting for some more stuff to come out that we have said over here. But I knew that it wasn't another car back there trailing y'all. I just knew that. I outdid all the Mo 3 Sector bloggers with this one. Even Duke thought it was another car back there. All of them was guessing, saying it was different characters in this car. They even blamed Sean G as a character back there that was in a car. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Coffee time was right on point. I wonder if they gonna admit it, y'all. I wonder if they gonna say, yeah, Coffee was on point, or is they gonna ignore it like the best thing they do because they hate the truth. They scared of the truth. You know what I'm saying? You could ignore it all you want, but guess what? We know over here what happened. Everybody know over here what was said because Coffee Time been saying it. Any other time y'all trolls all in my chat. Where y'all at now? Where the messenger trolls at now? I don't see you popping out. I don't see you talking noise. Hey, this is getting more fun and fun about a day, man. For real, for real. Yeah. Justice for Mo 3, man. Justice for Mo 3. For sure, for sure. I know it's a lot of people out there that don't like to hear Coffee pop his stuff, but guess what? I'm going to pop it anyway. You know what I'm saying, Miss Mina? You know, this is what we do, Miss Mina. This is what we do. You know, I don't know why they would even think they could outblog me. They cannot blog me. None of these people cannot blog me on here, man. You gotta be an energy person. You gotta know how to really feel that energy. Other than that, you not gonna be able to keep up with coffee time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be tapped in. That's what coffee time is. Tapped in. Yeah. You gotta be tapped into the universe to be able to keep up with coffee. Other than that, you gonna get lost. I promise you, you gonna get lost. They hate to see that coffee time over here is the one that stuck with kewon as that shooter. They hate to see that. I know they gonna be so quiet about that. They not gonna say nothing. Yeah, they not gonna tell the truth, Angie. They not gonna tell the truth, man. They not gonna tell the truth. And you know, they get on here saying that they started that Mo 3 case. They didn't start no Mo 3 case. They didn't start no Mo 3 case. What they don't know is Mo 3 had plenty of fans that listen to him daily. And it was plenty of people trying to get that stuff together. But MHB was the first one to get on here consecutively talking about it over and over and over and over and over again. Let's keep the facts right. These people like to leave people like, oh, we did it. Y'all ain't did a motherfucker. Y'all followers. That's what y'all is. Y'all followers. All y'all whole sector, followers. Y'all ain't the ones came up with the Mo 3 sector. Stop saying that. Y'all making my Gemini fellow look bad. Y'all hang with Mo 3 ops. So how can y'all be a sector? You feel me? How can y'all be a sector and y'all hanging with his ops? Man, please, Miss Coffee with that bullshit. Straight up. Say, nope, they didn't. Already, Angie. Already. Hey, you got to give props where props due, man. And everybody knows MHB was on here talking about that over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. He was the one on getting on here dropping content. How I know? We was all in the chat trolling. I know. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly how it went. At the same time, I was keeping up with the K. That's why y'all always seen when I did start going live, I was playing Mo 3 music. I always been a Mo 3 fan. I'm a Gemini. His birthday is day after mine. You know what I'm saying? I understand what Mo 3 rapped about. I understand how all of that, you know what I'm saying, came together. You can just put it there when you understand it. But people that was saying, oh, it's Dallas business, y'all got Dallas business wrong. Y'all let Houston business come solve Dallas business. Cause y'all sure put another car behind kewon. All of y'all, we heard all y'all Dallas business bloggers say that. Okay, now one of y'all Dallas business bloggers say y'all ain't trying to put another car back there with all kind of bodega. Y'all put 10 different characters in one car. You know what I'm saying? Each blogger had a different character that they appeared that was gonna be in that car when it wasn't even no car back there behind them the whole time. And now it's coming out, they quiet about it. They ain't saying nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? They act like they ain't said. They deleting videos. They trying to get rid of the proof right now. They doing all kind of things. They moving left. They moving right. They don't know what the fuck to do. Let me stop tripping, man. Hey, I'm up here going in on them today, man. Look, they deserve it. They deserve it. Y'all are some disgraceful bloggers. Y'all had the courtroom, even on the news, they talking about these Mo 3 sector bloggers that was in the courtroom trying to record the goddamn jury. These bloggers that everybody talking about was in the courtroom trying to record the jurors, man. Come on, man. Tell me they ain't dumb. Tell me they ain't dumb. They got the whole news talking about the bloggers. Luckily, the news didn't know the Mo 3 sector bloggers, or they would have said Mo 3 sector bloggers. That'd have been more stuff for them to talk about. Because they'd been like, Mo 3 sector. I wouldn't, I promise, I think it's going to come up in this trial anyways. Yeah, I think they definitely hip to what the Mo 3 sector is. Yeah. But at the same time, I want everybody to know that Mo 3 sector ain't sectoring. No. You can't have no Mo 3 sector with Mo 3 ops over there. I'm not approving it. Miss Nicole not gonna approve with no sector with his ops floating all around there and stuff like that. But man, real people don't approve of that. You know what I'm saying? That's fake fuckery stuff that y'all got going on over there. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't right. Y'all wrong. And face it. Face the fact. If it was coffee time and I was wrong, I'd be saying, y'all right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd be saying because I'm solid like that. But y'all, on the other hand, y'all ignoring a lot of stuff. Y'all can't be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't even look yourself in the mirror and say, you the problem. None of that. You that type of person. So I understand why y'all ain't gonna say it. Hey, Miss Mina say it's crazy how people and their words change. Facts. Facts. Facts, facts, Miss Mina. Facts. Big time. Thank you, God's child. Sure appreciate that. Yeah. It's crazy. Change just like that. Change just like that. You know what I'm saying? For real. But let's tap into some of this real quick, y'all. I'm gonna get back to this right here. Let's see what the heck going on right now. I see something on the screen. Hold up.
His mixtapes and his songs, although they weren't charting, a lot of local rap fans, as we talked off camera, they knew his name and things of that nature. But yeah, I think it started around 2017 to 2019, leading up to 2020. There was a lot of like back and forth as far as like songs and like Instagram lives and things like that. There's a lot of back and forth on both sides between both people. Yeah. And I know you're.
Hey, I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta go fix me some coffee. I'm finna let it run.
Person's on trial right now, kewon White, saying that these rappers have personas.
Should I do coffee and Hennessy today, y'all? Coffee and hand? Oh yeah. Special order, coffee in hand.
Still committed a crime, or if this is just made up life. But talk about how, I mean, it started to get violent. It went from just words to different shooting incidents. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately that is the case when things escalate offline, from an online view to offline. I think it really started around 2018, right? I think it's Mo3's friend, Roy Lee. He was someone that I guess it started with him, and then it kind of like escalated after that. I don't know if you're familiar with Roy Lee. This case has made me familiar with a lot of things that I might not have known. And so you're seeing this, and a big part that was shown today is the video that you're seeing on the screen right now of this happened to be caught on camera. It was a Kroger delivery truck that happened to have a dash camera. This shooting happened in November of 2020 on 35, not far from the zoo. And today, two witnesses were put on the stand who were in these nearby cars, saying they saw a man get out. One woman said she saw White allegedly putting on the ski mask, pointed the rifle at her, and allegedly said, "B, get the F out of here." And then another woman taking a stand saying that, she heard the shots, went to the floor, and then got out and take pictures for her personal evidence, thinking her car may have been hit or something, and had pictures of Melvin Noble on the ground. When you saw this video, I mean, you've been watching this all morning too. Yeah. What did you make of the testimony by, the first person, Melvin Noble's mom, spoke? You can't predict how someone acts on the stand, but I was shocked. There wasn't as much emotion. I don't know if certain questions weren't asked to provoke that, but what did you make of just the morning of this case so far? I think it was very emotional. I was watching on the live stream on YouTube. So I saw a lot of the chat, and the chat was very all over the place. Yeah, it was very lively, and they were dropping gorilla emojis. The gorilla emoji is associated with Mo3. It's sort of like his thing. Okay. And so the chat was very emotional. I think the testimonies on live, I think they were, I don't know, it felt, and I just feel for his mom, you know, to have to like relive it, and kind of, I was shocked personally seeing the photo of Mo3 on the ground, you know, like that's new to a lot of people. I don't think that photo has ever been out yet.
Right. And, I mean, there's so much, and you know, people, and we've been talking about this for 3 days now. When you know everyone, and I am the biggest Law and Order fan, but I also get the privilege and responsibility to have to sit in court sometimes and look at these cases. So there's a big difference between the TV'd up version of Law and Order and what actually happens in the courtroom. And now people that are interested in this case are some seeing it for the first time. But you know, one of my frat brothers asked me, he's like, "Why are y'all recording through the door?" Like, I mean, even questions like that of you know, a judge gets to make the rules. And in College County, we just had a major trial where we couldn't have a camera in the courtroom. Right. Dallas County is kind of an agreement where, okay, not to be busy in the courtroom, you can shoot video through the window of the door. Yeah. And so, like, people are seeing this, right? And then you're seeing the evidence posted. We heard the 911 call for the first time. Yeah. You saw images from a witness of a body on the ground. Like, those things now, the jury is seeing all this for the first time, of course, but the public is seeing it for the first time, too.
Yeah, I mean, it is emotional if you're a fan of Mo3. I mean, I think it hurts, obviously, to relive it, to see it. I really just feel for his mom to be able to have to like sit there and have to like answer the prosecution and the defense about her son's death.
And Bree West, who's the defense attorney for Kewon White, I mean, she has to do her job of trying to muddy the waters, right, for you know, to represent her client. And she kept asking Melvin Noble's mother, you know, like, Noble's mother talked about how when he was at home, he was Bubba. He was not Mo3. And so Bree West was trying to harp on that point, saying, well, so he has a persona. And that persona, you didn't know about that life. And so it's a lot of things. But let's talk about lyrics. Since this is your wheelhouse. We haven't gotten to this point yet, but lyrics are going to be key. They will be part of this, especially because, and some said the judge split the baby. We had a lot of hearings about lyrics. And then in the end, she said, okay, we'll allow some songs, not all songs. We'll allow a song with Trap Boy Freddy, but we can't play Trap Boy Freddy's raps. We'll allow a song talking about the beef, but not about the bounty. Break down some of these songs that you know of that stood out to you, and are you shocked of which songs were entered and which songs weren't?
I think I'm actually shocked that they were trying to add Trap Boy Freddy songs, and I don't know why. I don't think they're relevant to this particular beef at all. But the songs that are omitted, I feel like one of them is 219. That was released in February 2019. Right. So it's off his album Osama, Mo3's album. And then in February 2020, Keep It in the Streets, that's Yellow Beezy's song. And then Yellow Beezy On Your Head with Trap Boy Freddy, that was released in May 2020.
But what was it? Song Hit is not included, right? Is that one talked about? Is that the one that talked about putting a bounty?
Well, I'll say it's sort of a generalized term, hitters, you know. And I think Lil Wayne also has a song called Hitta on Carter on the Carter 5. But that song was not omitted for whatever reason. I think maybe it's because the song features NLE Choppa, so maybe it's not relevant to the case. But I say all the dates because I'm trying to like establish the timeline of the song. You know, and I think
and that it showed that it was a progression of things, right? It wasn't it wasn't just one argument in 2020 and then you have a shooting on 25. And the prosecution and defense have said, I mean, this goes back to, I think you said, 2017?
And I guess I was trying to point to Mo3's comedian friend Roy Lee. He drops the song 219 on his birthday, and that a lot of people saw that as sort of like a retaliation record. But like, so it's a blog that used to cover a lot of local music here. They wrote about that song 219 in around the time it dropped, and they wrote about all the beef and what happened and all that stuff. And like it was just interesting to me that he made this song, and like you listen to it, and it doesn't mention Yellow Beezy's name at all, but like it's sort of like a subliminal, it's like you can make an interpretation that he's addressing things that happened, like he mentions the tollway shooting in 2018 that Beezy was involved in. So yeah, and then the fact that he dropped it on his friend's birthday, who his friend passed due to this sort of street beef that Beezy had with Mo3. I don't know. It's just all like very interesting to me that these things are kind of lining up, but like to the average casual listener, I don't think they'll catch.
Right, they connecting the dots. Or I know people who are from Dallas, and so they know more about this than I'm from Atlanta. I lived here 7 years, but I was definitely not knowledgeable about both parties involved. I knew more about Yellow Beezy than O3, like you said. And we talked at noon, and you made a good point about some of the defense that's opening. The jury believes about personas, right? Right. Yeah. I want to talk about just in the rap industry. Every rapper is not from the streets, or they still don't live in the streets. I mean, some rappers rap about these things and they live in Allen. Or not to call anybody out, but city, right?
Shout out to Allen.
So talk about, you mentioned Rick Ross as an example. So
right.
Talk about that again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess the point I was making is, hip hop artists and rappers, they have personas. So it's like, I use the example of Rick Ross in that like he is someone who has made his career off of like luxury rap. He like created this whole persona around luxury rap and opulence. And I think with hip hop artists, a lot of the times they're drawing from like authentic stories that they've lived and they've went through. And a lot of times they sort of like create this storyline or like this like narrative around the world that they're trying to build with their music. And it can't think of an example where that is. Probably the most recent one is like Montana 700. He's a new Dallas rapper, and he created this whole persona. Like people call him kind of like the Dallas Jeezy in a way. And so like he's created this whole persona on like trapping and like being a street rapper, but he doesn't do that anymore, like at all. He's more about giving back to the community and trying to build.
I mean, like Jay-Z, one of my favorite rappers. Yeah, he built his career right at the beginning off of him talking about selling drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as his money increased, his lifestyle changed. Yeah. And he talked about other things. And we bring that up because, I mean, you have a jury that's sitting here going to be listening to all this testimony, right?
Yeah.
And then they are the only ones that matter in this case, that will have to decide if one, do you think that, this person was hired first? That's a whole separate argument. But then two, how much they believe that these rap lyrics come into play. Now, the rap lyrics are way more important in the Marquise Conway case trial, whenever that happens, if that happens, than this one. I mean, this one you have the alleged shooter. You have video of the shooting in broad daylight on 35. You just heard witness testimony, and the first witness saying, "I don't want to be here." She was compelled to testify. I mean, and then testimony is hard to do. I mean, you have someone accusing someone else of committing a murder, and you're facing the person, and this is streamed, and everyone has their own opinions, and so it's a big deal. And now that it's really happening, to reset, if you just joined us, we are in the lunch break right now for the Kewon White trial. The trial finally started today. Jury selection was Monday. On Monday, Yellow Beezy and his attorneys had to be in the courtroom too, just in case something happened with this case. Some speculated that there may have been a plea deal with Kewon White, the alleged gunman who killed Mo3, Melvin Noble, in November of 2020 on 35 in Dallas. And so this, now finally, 6 years later, in trial, Kewon White sitting in the courtroom. He's not in jail attire, which I know, a defendant, you're innocent until proven guilty. So he's in street clothes right now. He's in a turtleneck. He's in a turtleneck in July and August in Dallas. But that might be for a certain reason. Right. What have you taken away from today so far?
I think
three witnesses in.
Yeah, I think they both are presenting arguments that like could sway either way, right? But I think the thing that sort of caught me off guard was when the defense was like, "Oh, actually, Mo3 instigated the beef through a song called Pick Six because he wasn't on the song Six Pick." Six Pick, and I don't know, that kind of threw me off. But that's new information that I haven't heard of.
Do you think they're trying to, let me use my wording right, like plant a seed in the jury's head and then bring it back up? Like,
yeah, maybe. I mean, I think they're definitely doing their Googles and seeing like people covering, Mo3 ranting about not being on the song or whatever. But like that song is, I don't know, it mostly features like Fort Worth rappers, and it was released in 2017 of November. So like, it just kind of threw me off. Like, why are they
of them saying that was the origin?
Yeah, that was actually the origin of the beef, not this other like online tension and
you mentioned bloggers. That has been a big topic this week.
Yeah.
I mean, to those who may not know, I love technology and I love the advancements that we have, but also it sort of hurts like other journalists. And I'll give y'all a peek into what I'm talking about. During jury selection, y'all didn't see any live streams because we cannot show jury selection really. I mean, because you don't want to run the risk of making a mistake and showing someone who may be a possible juror. And so we didn't have a camera in the courtroom, but there were multiple incidents this week with bloggers recording people in the hall or recording people in the courtroom, yada, yada, yada. And the judge kicking them out of the courtroom, but allowing them to still be in there. What do you make of, there's a difference between someone covering this from a professional organization and someone just having a phone and thinking that they know how to cover a trial. Do you have any friends who are you ain't got to call anybody out, but I'm saying, like, do you think that, what did you make of that part of this week? Because it consumed Monday and Tuesday mentioning bloggers in the courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all kind of stems from, I don't know how deep I can go into this, but like Academics is probably the most known hip hop personality and blogger out there. He kind of recently got into a tiff with Rob Markman, and they were talking about journalists versus bloggers, and he tweeted something about like, "Hey, I'm going to call you paraphrasing here, but I'll call you a journalist if you cover the Keefe D trial, the Lil Durk trial, and the Yo Beezy trial." So I think that might have inspired bloggers to try and just like
to come to the court.
Yeah, to like prove him right. Like, we'll show you journalists that we can do this, and ended up being that people who do this professionally, they understand the etiquette, they understand that you can't record jurors, you can't like run up to them, potential jurors, all that stuff you can't do, and the result of it was that they got banned. However, there is one blogger that is still there. I don't know if they are still there. They go by Dallas Global TV. I don't know if you ever heard of this account. But
yeah. Are they in the courtroom or are they in the hall?
I'm not sure. I think maybe in the hall, but
I don't think. Well,
I'm not sure.
I would say I don't think the judge could kick someone out of the hall, but I'm not going to wade into that. I just know that has been a big part of this, like especially us waiting for this trial to start.
Yeah.
The fact that we had to say bloggers were kicked out of the courtroom multiple times is something interesting. If you're just joining us, the jury and everyone's supposed to come back in about 10 minutes or so. They broke for lunch at about 12:33 instead of an hour lunch. I have never been on a jury, so I don't know what type of lunch they had. But hopefully,
sandwiches.
They were asking a lot of questions yesterday during the voir dire process. One of the jurors asked, "Can you bring his own lunch? You might want your own lunch." But again, to reset things, Eric Deep is joining us, hip hop journalist you've done some work with, Double XL, Dallas Observer, just to name a few. How has and I know there were like in the wake of all this, like interviews on different rap stations and stuff.
Yeah.
How has are things just now coming back up as far as people talking about this constantly, or have people been talking about this well before we knew of a trial starting this week, like in the hip hop community?
Yeah. Are you speaking of like are people talking about Mo3 and Yo Beezy before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did it die down after 2020 and then only popped back up because now we're getting closer to a trial.
Yeah, I would say I think after 2020, it became one of those cases where like it almost felt like an unsolved case, like Biggie and Pac, right? And like, but what was really beautiful about that time period between 2020 and now was that there was a lot of tributes to Mo3. Like, I think I went to like a bunch of like different rap shows, and
well, y'all left behind because the Mo3 sector. Hey, y'all know Coffee Time gonna keep it real, man. Now they behind because the Mo3 sector bloggers that have kept his name alive, and that's the only one. I even seen the Facebook groups go quiet. So I gotta say, the Texas sector, which we already know Coffee's been talking about this, but I'm saying for as anybody else keeping this case alive, I gotta say the Mo3 sector bloggers been the one throughout the years steady talking about it also. They argue over it, all of that. So these people definitely lost to what bloggers. They talking about academics ain't got nothing to do with this right here. He ain't did nothing. Man, see how they get on here and lie and show like love for the bigger channels. It's always the small channels come with the win, man. Y'all bigger channels ain't nothing, man. Real talk. Y'all ain't nothing, man. Stop lying to these people. Let's get back to it.
Witness said that she was right next to the car where the shooting happened, and she could hear all the gunshots, and said she wouldn't get up until she heard them stop.
And she also didn't. They were trying to get to a number of gunshots, and she couldn't recall how many gunshots.
And granted, and let me be real and transparent, like in a moment like that, I probably would not be able to count gunshots. But I am shocked that usually we go to stories that someone will say, "Oh, I heard 5 gunshots," or "I heard down like 10 gunshots." It was interesting that they were trying to drill down how many gunshots did you hear.
Yeah, and going off of what you're saying, like everyone said they were nervous when they went.
I mean, how many times do you drive on the interstate? And we're in Texas, so people have road rage. But how many times do you drive on the interstate and traffic stopped because of shooting and the person's running? It wasn't just shots fired in a car; it was someone running. And so the defense has a tall task, right, of trying to convince this jury that, one, it wasn't their client. This individual was wearing a ski mask, so their face was partially covered. And Bree West and her team asking those during cross-examination, talking about, well, did you see the person's face? Do you know this person? Excuse me. But that's the image right there that you see. You see a guy with a weapon and a ski mask. That's as descriptive as you can try to get. And then so that was why that witness was very important, of her saying, well, I saw part of his face. Yeah. And she isn't fully excused, so she could be called back. I know the paramedic that I would now try and rescue, he testified just giving general information. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be interesting to see who the prosecution calls next. The biggest person is Detective Barnes. He is the lead investigator on this, and he's been entrenched in the Dallas community. He knows the rap scene. He knows about these different beefs. And last week, the judge ruling that he can't be an expert on rap music. A college professor will be able to be an expert on this.
Oh, interesting.
How important do you think Detective Barnes will be in this case?
Pretty important. I think I can't remember who wrote an article about his sort of a detective work and like breaking down like how the beef started and where it is now. But like I would say he's very important in the case.
Yeah, Detective Barnes. I know he's at the courtroom. I've seen reports that he's at the courtroom because I know right now the prosecution is trying to set the table, right? So they start with Melvin Noble's mom. She gives the personal side of who she knows is her son. And the defense says, yeah, but you didn't know his whole life, right? And so that's that part. And then now we heard the eyewitnesses, if you will, those that were on the interstate and said, I saw this guy get out. I heard the gunshots. I saw the body on the ground. And so now I'm wondering, now after lunch, after the jury has all this set up, they've seen the video of the shooting, now, like, how are they really going to start tying kewon White to this? And one thing that was interesting, and tell me if I missed it, but I was watching the whole thing. Yeah. I didn't hear once them ask the eyewitness, well, especially the first witness, man that you saw on the highway, the person in the courtroom. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either.
I don't know if that's just Law and Order, but like
point to the person that's in the court.
Saw the person, yeah, or at least if the prosecution thinks she saw the person, you would say is the person in the courtroom. Now he looks different, right, from 6 years ago. I'm wondering why they didn't ask that question.
I saw the chat talk about how he was whispering to his attorney's ear about something.
So I talked to a defense attorney yesterday, not associated with this case, and we were talking about, especially during voir dire, like, okay, what are the conversations that a defendant is having with his lawyer as things are going on? Because he would talk to Bree West and write a note yesterday, and he said, well, as it relates to voir dire, the process of setting a jury, he could have said, like this juror, do you agree? No telling what he may have been talking about today. Right. Or sometimes the defendant also is telling them, you need to ask this question because I wasn't wearing a green jacket. Only the defense attorney and their client knows what they know. Yeah. But it could have been a host of things of what he was talking about. It could have been, I got to use bathroom. I mean, never. Yeah. 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 I forgot what my thought was. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, no, you're good. So we are waiting for the jury to come back from lunch break. Although they broke about an hour ago, and so we're waiting for them to come back at 12:30. And so that's the look in the courtroom. When they are back, of course, they'll look like what you were looking at for the first 2 hours. There is some movement in the courtroom. Somebody walked by. And so we're waiting for the jury to come back. They heard opening statements before 10 a.m. this morning from the prosecution and the defense. And then the first person that was on the stand was Nicole Noble, the mother of Mo3, Melvin Noble, talking about her son, talking about that he was a father. He was young, but talking about him being the father of 3 young kids at the time of the murder, a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old children. Right. And then we heard from 2 witnesses. The first witness outright told the defense she didn't want to be there, but she was a key witness and could be a key witness in this. She said, I saw this black car driving weird through traffic, then pulled over. I thought it was an accident. She said she asked the gunman, she thought he was going to help the person. Right. And then he allegedly pointed a gun at her and told her to leave. And so you see that video right there. I mean, this video, I think, is probably one of the biggest pieces of evidence outside of the prosecution eventually is going to have to prove or argue how he was allegedly paid for this. Yeah, that's a big part. Of course, right now, this is just day one. They're trying to set the scene. But they're going to have to explain. They're claiming he was paid to murder someone. They're going to have to show evidence of that. Yeah, I think they're going to, if I'm going to give you my opinion, I think they're going to have to rely on Beezy's track On Your Head. Because that is, it doesn't. What did they say? Can't remember. I can't recall.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, it says an amount.
Yeah, I think it was like 10K or something like that. But the whole On Your Head thing is I can put a bounty on you. And so if they can try to connect that, then.
And that's going to be key. They have to connect 2 separate things because we're only talking about the trial for the shooter. But it still goes back to this other charge that they have against Yellow Beezy, Marcus Conway. Right. They're saying that he hired kewon White. And then, okay, if you hired him, then show us how you know that he hired him. So, yeah, and they have a witness list of more than 250 people. I highly doubt they're going to call 250 people. Yeah, they have terabytes of evidence. The prosecutor said, I don't hope to call 250 people. Yeah. And then you have to think about the jury are humans, too. Like, some trials go a week, some trials go months, but you got to start, they have to read the body language of the jury too. This is day one, so not really, but in the days to come, because if you're putting up all these witnesses, then they're going to forget some of the good stuff or the important things that you tried to lead with because you're muddying it with all these other expert witnesses. But yeah, again, it's 1:30. They broke it like 12:33, so they could be coming back in soon. Jen, let's take a look at the courtroom again. I know it's just a seal, but wanted to see if there's any movement. You see people walking around. And again, this is in Dallas County. This murder happened in 2020. Now, 6 years later, the person accused of killing Melvin Noble is on trial for murder. And Only on Monday was Yella Beezy, Marquise Conway, in the courtroom. But I think I was told that some of his family members may be in there this morning. I have to double check, but I know he's not in there. And I wouldn't expect him to be in there for this. He was only in court Monday because the judge said, "You and your lawyer need to be here just in case something happens." Are you shocked? I've asked everyone this question. Are you shocked that White has not, as of right now, taken a deal? Or do you think he believes, I got a better shot at going through trial?
Yeah, I think he believes he has a better shot at going to trial.
Why do you think that?
The legal process, I think, and just the fact that this is mostly centered around Yella Beezy and Mo3, and he's sort of like
an important part, but I get what you're saying.
What I'm saying. It's like it's really like around them two, and so it's like he maybe feels like that if it goes through, like he might have a shot of,
And I mean, and I think whatever happens in this is definitely dramatically going to impact the Yella Beezy trial, right?
Yeah.
Like if, let's just say, a jury finds White not guilty, right? Then I think that's going to dramatically impact how they approach the case with Conway, because if a jury just found the alleged gunman not guilty, then they might think another jury might not understand the connection between the two men. And that's what we have not heard yet, any connection between the two men. Trap Boy Freddy's name has been said 3 times or 4 times.
Yeah, the beginning, right? The defense was like, a third person, Trap Boy Freddy.
Yella Beezy's name has been said a couple times. Right. But again, no connections yet.
Just sort of
asking if you do.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier about setting it up. And I think that's probably what's happening. If they're going to go into the afternoon, I don't think we're going to maybe have any, can you name the person in the room thing yet?
Yeah, I was just in, and I'm gonna ask some of my legal people when we get off, because I just assumed that, especially for the first woman who said on the stand.
Okay, why would they want them to? Why would they say that? They not gonna know he had a mask on. They not trying to find out that for a reason. They already got his cell phone location. The fool had his cell phone with him, if y'all not understanding. That's why he's on trial. That's why they know it's him. He had his cell phone with him doing a crime, doing a horrific crime like that. And that they have his everything, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna all come out. It's gonna all come out. Oh, hold up real quick, y'all. Hold up.
But I submit to you that this is not a church, this is a court. And the law demands evidence. You're going to see that the state's case is riddled with speculation, assumptions, and flawed conclusions. Now, in what I've been talking a lot about, beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the state's verdict. They brought the indictment, they have to prove it. It's their capital murder case that is on trial. What are they going to be able to prove to you? It is not for you to use your imagination to help bridge the gap of your evidence. It is for you to demand that they bring you the evidence and close the gaps for you. Now you're going to hear, and I agree with the state, you're going to hear lots of things. But amassing information does not mean that the state has proved its case. You're going to hear about media, social media, association, friendships, rivalry. Yes.
The next one is going to be the medical examiner. And so I don't know how you handle that as far as. I don't know how you handle that as far as the line.
So what you're looking at now, we're back live. The jury.
Hey, what the hell going on in the chat box? Oh, shoot, y'all crazy, man.
Wow, I'm gonna wait till the judge says we're on the record. But right now, everyone's seated. You see kewon right there with the glasses talking to 3 West co-counsel, and now the jury is being brought in right now. So keep watching. This is day one of the murder trial, the murder for hire trial for Kewon White and the death of rapper Mo3, whose legal name was Melvin Noble back in 2020. And we'll be back after court to recap this.
Buck, you right, Buck. You sure right. I got my foot on this man. You sure right. I don't know what she talking about. She know what it is.
Great call, Dr. Justin Durham.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all had some lunch. Very good. That testimony you're about to give will be supposed to
I do.
Procedure. Okay. All right, good afternoon, Doctor.
Afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Fine.
Would you mind introducing yourself to this jury and spelling your name for the court, please? Sure.
Jeffrey Barnard, Barnard.
And Doctor, how are you currently employed?
I'm retired from Dallas County, but I currently work on a part-time basis doing autopsies in California.
And you said retired from Dallas County. How long did you work with Dallas County?
Over 37 years.
Okay. I want to kind of just go back as it relates to your background, training, experience. I know you testified probably hundreds of times in this courthouse.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah, I didn't want to say thousands, but you testified quite a bit. So, if you wouldn't mind just telling us a little bit about your training, background, and experience.
Yeah, I attended Texas A&M University and received a Bachelor of Science in Medicine degree. I attended Texas A&M College of Medicine and received my MD degree. I served a general surgery internship at Scott White Hospital in Temple, Texas. I served a 4-year combined anatomic and clinical pathology residency at Scott White Hospital. I served a 1-year fellowship in forensic pathology in Long Island with the Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office. I'm board certified in anatomic pathology, clinical pathology, and forensic pathology. I was and still am professor of pathology at UT Southwestern Medical School. I worked during my internship, residency, and fellowship on a part-time basis as an emergency room physician. I'm the current chairman of the Texas Forensic Science Commission appointed by the governor.
And have you testified in state court and civil court as an expert in pathology?
Yes.
Few or many times?
Many.
Your Honor, just want to ask for designated Dr. Bernard as an expert in pathology.
Okay, 25. Hopefully designate Dr. Bernard as an expert in pathology.
Thank you. And so, Dr. Bernard, back in 2020, what was your official capacity with Dallas County at that time?
I was the director of the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences and the chief medical examiner for Dallas County.
And what were some of your job responsibilities and duties as the chief medical examiner for the Dallas County, or I'm going to say SWIFT, as the chief medical examiner and as the head of SWIFT?
Well, there's two different things, but as the director of the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences, I oversaw both the criminal investigation laboratory as well as the medical examiner's office. So in the criminal investigation area, the crime lab, so to speak, I was administratively oversaw that. So that built the employees' budgets, that sort of thing. As the chief medical examiner, I oversaw the medical examiner's office, all the other medical examiners, and I did autopsies as well.
Now, Doctor, I kind of want to just hop right into this. Did you perform an autopsy of an IFS-20-21399-ME?
Well, the ME is just means the medical examiner, sir. But the number is correct. I did that autopsy.
And Your Honor, this time I'd offer State's Exhibit 960, which is a copy of Dr. Bernard's CD previously tendered to the defense counsel.
Did you say 960?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Jenkins said 960, right? Exhibit 960. Is it admitted?
960.
9.
Yes.
Is it admitted?
Thank you, Your Honor. And again, permission to move freely about court-ordered testimony. Thank you. Now, Doctor, before we get into the actual report that you did in this case, can you tell the jury a little bit about what pathology is, what an autopsy is? Can you just kind of give them an overview of all this?
Yeah, so pathology itself is the study of disease. And forensic pathology is kind of a subspecialty of that, in which your job is to determine the cause and manner of death. And in so doing that, many times an autopsy is performed. And an autopsy is both an external and an internal examination of the body. And the external examination is that part of the exam which is performed prior to making incisions into the body. So that could be things as simple as color of the hair, color of the eyes. Those are all parts of the external examination. Also, if there are any injuries that are identifiable on the skin surface, those are documented. The internal examination is that part of the exam which is performed in which appropriate incisions are made into the body. The organs which reside within the body cavities are examined. Also, during that, you're looking for any sort of injury, and the organs are removed, and any sort of natural disease, if present, are documented. Organs are weighed, they're dissected, and then ultimately placed back in the body for burial. Also, during both the external and internal examination, fluids are removed for toxicology examination, that is, drug testing.
And can you briefly describe when you receive a body in a homicide case, or when a body comes to you that there's suspected a homicide may be involved? How does that work?
Well, homicide, all bodies are brought in, the body bags are tagged, so they're sealed up. But in cases where you suspect that there's a homicide, well, then an x-ray is performed before you open the body bag. That is, it's a scanning x-ray so that, if there's a bullet that might be loose in the body bag, or as we've seen before, guns that are in the body bag, placed for some unknown reason. And then you get an idea of whether there are any projectiles that need to be recovered or anything else that may be recoverable.
Now, IFS 20-21399, you stated that you did perform an autopsy, and did you perform a regular report regarding that autopsy that you performed?
Yes.
Our opportunity has been marked as State's Exhibit 5. I'm also going to give you 6. It's 6 through 35. I'm also going to do State's Exhibit 4, which is already in evidence. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a long 2 days to start. The report. Doctor, are you familiar with States Exhibit 4, 5, 6 through 35, I believe?
I am.
And what are States Exhibits? We'll start with 6, 5, and 6. What are States Exhibit 5 and 6?
States Exhibit 5 is a copy of the autopsy report I generated from the autopsy. 6 is actually part of the autopsy. It's the diagram where I listed out all the entrances, exits, gunshot wounds. And in the back part of that is the cause of death sheet. 4 is an identification photograph. And the rest of the photos 7 through 35 are autopsy photographs that I took at the time I did the autopsy.
Okay. And when you do an autopsy and you take photos, how many photos do you think you take, especially on an autopsy like the one we have here?
I took a large number of photographs. This is part of the photographs, it's not all of it.
Would you say that's a small or a large portion of the photos from the autopsy?
Yeah, I tend to think less is more rather than introducing 50, 60 photographs. Trying to get representative photographs is what I think is more important. So this will be a small number relative to the total.
Sure. And in preparation for your testimony today, you and I have met.
Yes.
And that was the group that you felt was the best representation for this jury to understand your testimony.
Yes.
And also, I prepared a PowerPoint to use during the demonstration. Do you believe States Exhibits 5, 6, and 7 through 35 would help aid the jury in understanding your testimony today?
Yes, I do.
State would offer States Exhibits 5 through 35 for all purposes, as well as States Exhibit 36, which is different. Which is the PowerPoint? 36 is the PowerPoint.
Do you want 4?
We have no objections to States Exhibit number 5, States Exhibit number 6. We do object to States Exhibit 7 through 28 as being overly prejudicial. Let me see. Exhibit 7 through 28.
Hey, coffee time. I'll be back live. I'm gonna tap back in.